Mayor, many thanks for your time. Well, the Syrian ambassador to the UK, Dr. Sami Kiyami, is with me now. Dr. Kiyami, thanks for your time. It's very clear, Gideon Mayor's position, they cannot stand still. They feel that that attack came from you first. What do you expect them to do?
Are you talking about Hezbollah or about Syria?
Well, I'm talking about Hezbollah, which has so much influence from Syria.
I think Hezbollah has influence on Syria and on all the Arabs. And Syria has influence on Hezbollah, and many Arab countries have influence on Hezbollah. So I don't think we have to mix things up. What has happened is that the Lebanese resistance, represented by Hezbollah, captured Israeli soldiers, probably in order to exchange them with people, Lebanese people, captured also by the Israeli army unlawfully, either when it was occupying Lebanon or when it crossed the borders through incursions and captured them and put them in prison for years and years without any justice governing that.
Let me get this absolutely right. Are you condoning that capture by Hezbollah of the soldiers?
What I don't have the right neither to do this nor that. It is the Lebanese resistance who decides what it deems necessary to liberate the land of Lebanon that is still occupied and to free the Lebanese that are still in Israeli jails. What is more important, Amy, if you don't mind, is now to play constructively. One has to do everything in his power to ease tension and to stop the violence and to ask all these people to come together for talks, either to exchange prisoners or reach a solution that would be suitable.
You're talking about the importance of constructive dialogue, which nobody would dispute. But why are we not hearing anyone from the Syrian government distancing themselves from this attack? If you want to be constructive, that's the place to start.
No, not at all. You don't distance yourself from a legal resistance that is fighting for the aspiration of its people. It's out of the question. This state of Israel is behaving like an outlaw state.
But you are in a position
This state of Israel is killing
children,
putting MPs that are elected democratically in prison, throwing bombs everywhere.
And you've used the word constructive. So surely with your influence, both financial, both ideological, you can go in, you can say to Hezbollah, if you want this violence to stop, this is what we have to do first.
No, we have to say to Hezbollah, please stop violence from your end, and the Israelis should stop violence from their end, and then they would discuss together, because both of them have things to ask each other for.
Completely hands off. Syria, completely hands off then?
Well, this is not hands off. This is very constructive, and this is very legal. When the Israelis say today that we want Lebanon to apply the UN resolution, they don't say, for example, that they have never applied any UN resolution up till now. The only UN resolution they applied it by force because they were driven out of Lebanon.
I would put it to you that you call this constructive. Ideologically, this is allowing you to reassert your control over Lebanon. This is allowing Syria a way back in.
Well, if this is your opinion, I'm sad about that. What we are trying to do is really to ask the international community to look at the state of Israel and start to be that has always behaved in a way where it knows that it will never be accountable. Nobody even dares to hold it accountable. And so what we are saying to the international community, now it is time for you to tell this Israeli state that there are Palestinian rights, that there are Lebanese rights, and that you have to respect these rights.
Many thanks for your time this evening. Well, I'm joined now from Washington by Edward Walker, the former US ambassador to Israel. You heard that line there from the Syrian ambassador. Nobody dares to tell Israel that it should be held to account. Mahmoud Abbas has warned this evening we're on the brink of regional war. Can it end any other way?
Yes, of course it can. with all due respect to the Syrian ambassador, I think the Saudis made it clear today who was responsible for this heating up of the situation. Very clear statement and a strong statement against Hezbollah and against its supporters. Principally, I believe, Iran, but has to be involved. Syria has to be involved as well. This would not have happened had there not been a violation of the border, which the United States, Britain, the French, and the UN put in place, the blue line, in order to allow Israel to leave Lebanon. Go ahead.
Sorry, you must admit, though, at this stage, the international community has consistently failed to sort out the Middle East. I mean, where do you go now? Who would you tell to stop doing what first?
Well, first of all, Hezbollah is not an independent operation. It has to depend entirely for its weapons, its money, and its supplies on Iran and on Damascus. They have the power to pull it into check, and yet they're not using it. As you mentioned, there is a grave suspicion in Lebanon and in this country, and certainly on the part of the President of the United States, that Syria is trying to redress the problem of their having to leave Lebanon to reinsert themselves in Lebanon and to bring down the Senora government.
Sorry to interrupt. Let me ask you to turn that one round. Do you think there is motivation by Israel? Do you think that it wants a presence in Lebanon again?
No way. I mean, they came out of Lebanon because it was expensive, it cost lives, and it's not their territory, and they made it very clear that it's not their territory. They didn't start this. They didn't start it in Gaza, and they didn't start it on the Lebanese border. So let's just make that clear. And if it's not clear to us, then at least it seems to be clear to the Saudi government.
If they didn't start it, they may have yet overplayed it, though. Olmert has gone into this very heavy-handedly.
Oh, no. I recall 1981. I recall the kinds of things that the Israelis are capable of. This is restraint for the Israelis. I know that's going to seem very illogical, but they haven't gone in with major armored carriers going into southern Lebanon and reoccupying the territory. What I'm afraid of is it's going to come to that.
Okay.
Then it's going to be that much harder to settle it.
Edward Walker, many thanks indeed. Now, this weekend, the world's leaders are converging for the G8 summit in St. Petersburg. Russia's President Putin has forged close links with Syria